Welcome back, brothers, to a special hangout here on the O'Shea Vlogcast channel. I'm your host, O'Shea Duke Jackson. I haven't done one of these in a few days because, a Negro being real busy with a lot of stuff. But, a lot of brothers kept asking me about this show, about the J Morrison issue. I'm not necessarily very familiar with the concepts. I just know a few things, but I heard about him a few days ago. So I've just been familiar with him for about a week. But we do have some experts, or at least more than I am, on the issues. And so the topic is the J Moore real estate fund a scam? Now, I am using LArmovement name for views, as I usually do. He'll be joining us in a second, but I'm here with Supersly, Edward Anderson, and Sub-Zero 3639. And, if anybody else wants to join the panel that has some experience with this, I'll definitely invite you if you're a YouTuber. So let's go ahead and introduce the brothers tonight that's going to be on the panel. Let's go ahead with Sub-Zero 3639. Let everybody know what's up with your player.
Ain't nothing, man. Slow motion. Out here, just left the gym. You know what I'm saying? Just got an oil change. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the affirmative for not. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm on the negative, and I'm in the negative when it comes to him being a scam. But I'm in the affirmative as to is it a decent? Why? I'm not even gonna say it's a good investment. I don't know yet, but that's my premise. Let something happen. Let's let the brother do something first. We don't know. Let's not just say because of the percentages it's a scam. No, if he gives you what he say he gonna give you, then technically he gave you, he honored his word. Okay. So that doesn't make it a scam. And to say that, like I had a gentleman just a couple of minutes ago in my comment section say you can get a better return going on eBay selling coffee mugs. That just shows a lot of us as Black people are, we're ignorant to what's the difference between an investment and what a business is. Okay. Which I would call that a hustle, like me and what Anderson was talking about earlier. But that's me, man.
All right. So shout out to you, brother. Let's go ahead on to Supersly, the I call him the Great Black Shark, man, because he's a killer on these things, man. Shout out to you, brother. What's going on with your family?
No, I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm good. Yeah, after reading his SEC filings and doing my research and then asking around, I wouldn't waste my money with this.
Okay, we're gonna get into some great details about that. And then Edward Anderson, what's going on, man? This the great long-winded king of the Negro manosphere, this part of Black YouTube. Everybody knows it. Good old Edward. Now, up and coming YouTuber. What's going on, Edward?
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit something. Look, you know who it is. You know what my name is, and you know why I'm here. I ain't playing with you niggas today. So I'm fired today. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I ain't even gonna get my opinion on the fun yet, because to me, it's not about the fun. It's really about something very deeper and psychotic about Black people, Black men in particular. And so we're gonna get in on this today.
Okay, cool. Shout out to my brother CB3, man, with the $3.33. You know what I'm saying? My boy out the Bay Area, all love O'Shea. Shout out to you, man. I'm gonna use that money to buy some midget strippers, man. Y'all brothers come in here and get the likes up. Okay, let's talk about this whole thing, man. The first thing I gotta go with is, okay, now J Morrison, for those people who don't know, it seems like he's an expert when it comes to real estate. And right now he has something called the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. And I think the initial buy-in is $500 at least. And then I think the fund has raised, don't quote me, but has it raised close to $10 million? Anybody know?
It's more or 11 or 12 now.
Okay, 11 or 12.
It's pushing 11 million now.
Pushing 11 million. Okay, so we have had at least some people that I know. Shout out to, I won't call any names, but one of our moderators, they've put $500 into it. That's who let me know about it. And then there's another person that I've interviewed that's put $2,000 into it. So those are the people that I know. But what's your take on it, Sub-Zero? I mean, like, do you think this is something that you would invest in personally, or?
I would invest in it, but I'm a little different, and this is why. I'm not of the mindset that there aren't some red flags or things that people say, okay, well, because what he did was he started the fund. He didn't have any, he technically on paper doesn't have any money invested. But I've spent the time listening to him explain why he didn't put all the money in. I would invest in it for other reasons. But am I sitting out here saying this is going to be the best thing that ever happened to black people? It's going to change and it's going to give us, we're going to own this. And I don't know. That I don't know. I can't see around corners. I'm just not going to say, I just think, and I think I'm kind of like Edward on this. I'm not of the mindset that black people should be out here feeling like it's their job or duty to say, hey, you're about to get raped. Let me come in and save you. Like, you don't know that. We don't know that part of it. We just know that this is what he's saying. Based on what he's offering, it could or couldn't happen. It could fall. It could become a blunder in that he could make an investment and it just fail. And not necessarily that it could be a scam per se. Or he could try to be a scam and leave with the money, but that would be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, given, what he's done and the type of noise he's making. Believe me, he's being watched, And I think that would be the dumbest thing he could do. Like, for example, and this is what I'm going to say. I was for, what's his name? Umar Johnson. I was pulling for Umar Johnson when he first talked about the boys' school, right? I changed on a dime, not on a dime, but I changed with the stripper scandal, and I changed with the way he kept going on the internet, cursing at people and acting crazy. I said, this guy's not mentally stable enough. And then it changed when I saw, okay, it's going on years. You're not producing any plans. That's when I pulled back. You get what I'm saying? But at first, I was like, hey, it's a good idea. Let's wait and see. Let's see. If you give a brother money, I'm not knocking anybody that's investing, but let's wait and see. And the thing is, I think he's owed that. Let's wait and see. Okay. Now, can you go dig into the weeds and find something to say, well, this isn't right. This could happen, with the SEC filing. This could happen. This could happen. Yeah, you could find that. But that doesn't necessarily mean instantly it's a scam, more so than it means that they have concerns that this may turn out, it may turn bad. Not because it's necessarily the SEC saying it's a guaranteed scam. The SEC is saying he may not be able to deliver on the way he's trying to deliver, which I'm willing to live with that. If he made an investment, he did what he tried to do what he said he could do. If he makes the effort and if I put money in there and I get 5% instead of 8%, I'm not upset about that. I'm upset if he takes the money and skip town. That's when I'm upset. You know what I'm saying? But that's me.
Okay, no, some good points. So, I mean, should we give him time? How much time? Okay, now you made a really good point about that in comparison to Umar Johnson. So let me kind of get to Super Sly, because he makes some pretty good points. Sub-Zero makes some good points about. All right, we should give him some time, see what he's gonna do, see if he makes good on his word. And he did make a really strong comparison to Umar Johnson. I think that's valid. Super Sly, what do you have to say with response to Sub-Zero's position?
Here's the initial problem. The initial problem is he named it Tulsa. So off the top, you're playing on black folks' emotional heartstrings because everybody remembers what happened in Tulsa. Trying to rekindle the whole Black Wall Street. So you have feelings of nostalgia. I'm like, yeah, we can do it again. That's the first thing. Second thing is it's like he's positioning this as the road to economic freedom and empowerment and independence from the white dominant society, and that's not the case. It's going to take a little bit more than $50 million. You're going to need government changes, laws, things of that nature to help siphon economic resources from the dominant to those that have less than the whatever wealth they're trying to generate. And then on top of that, the SEC filings are very, very alarming. Basically, worst case, he could dissolve this thing and walk away with the money and not be held accountable for it. And you got to understand why people are calling it a scam, because if they did their research and they're still calling it a scam, that's being disingenuous. But for those that don't know any better, they should use better terms. But just reading the filings itself, very, very disturbing. But he's using the Tulsa theme to play on your emotional heartstrings. Then he tried to shame you, saying, well, you have $500 to waste because you spend it on Jordans and shoes and belt buckles. And that's not always the case. And then, we all know the numbers. The black household's worth $1,700, yada, yada, yada. So no, people really don't have it like that to be spending, to try and shame people for spending their monies. And like I said, it's going to take about 5 or 6 years before we even see if this thing works or not.
Okay. I know who this is now. I know exactly who this brother is.
Hold on, y'all.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Wait a minute. In order. Don't niggify the show. I'm gonna let you talk in a minute. Hold on 1 second, everybody. Guys, 173 people watching. Do me a favor, brothers. We got a really good panel, man. 176 people watching right now. Get the likes up on the video. I need 57 of you brothers to like the video, okay? And thank you, my brother, for the $1.99 super chat. Manifesting Dreams TV. I appreciate the $1.99. Thank you. You brothers, man, go ahead on and get the likes up on the video. I do appreciate all you black men watching the show right now. Thank you so much. And get the likes up on the video. Go ahead, Edward.
I'm gonna try to be nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So
keep it to the positions, brother.
Sub-Zero did a wonderful video that was, you know, O'Shea, you know, videos hit the mark when people start trying to remove the video. Would you agree to that? When people start trying to knock out your video and you keep on trying to upload it, you know, and they start knocking it off some stupid shit, trying to say what you're saying is offensive or whatever. Mm-hmm. Sub-Zero did a beautiful video, much more articulate than what I could be, in which he, word for word, like a masterful fencer, destroyed Tone's video and literally put out what Tone said and then broke it down. I downloaded that crap in case it got took down again, and I still have it, and I might upload it. Why am I saying that? Why am I focused on that and not having my particular argument? I'm saying that because Supasly, everything you're saying is word for word what Tone is saying. And I find it very interesting that a couple of weeks ago, when I said Vlad was a culture vulture, and you very much so defended Vlad very vehemently, talking about he's got some air quote black friends, which all culture vultures have. There's no such thing as a culture vulture that doesn't have black friends. Kid Rock had a lot of black friends. And Tone was able to get his video on DJ Vlad's thing, basically carrying out very same word for word language that you used. And my thing is, are these your words, or are these just things you're parroting? No, this is rhetorical. You can respond, but this is rhetorical. Because I'm not finished yet. Are these words that you're just pulling from Tone? Let's be clear here. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care if you invest in the Tulsa Fund. I'm currently not invested in it. I'm still making my mind on the whether I want to throw some money at it. I've actually donated to Jason Black as well as Serena Sheen, and these are donations. These are not investments. So my thing, and I'll say this, and I'm going to speak to this because I don't want to hog the mic. People want to talk about SEC filings. The first question I'm going to ask people is this. Compare. I want people to read word for word the Tulsa Fund's SEC filings and then read other newer SEC filings of other things similar to that and see if the legalese is the same. Because as far as I'm concerned, my answer to why the SEC filings is alarming is because I know from experience in other markets is that they make you put these things in because they understand that people don't know what the hell they're looking at when they invest. So they make a lot of these funds put in that legalese in order to let you know, if you invest in this, I don't want to hear you crying to the government if you lose your money. That has nothing to do with his particular fund. That's stuff that you put in when it's new in general. They make you disclose all of that stuff because it's new. It's kind of like saying no credit is worse than bad credit. It's kind of like that. That's the first thing. The second thing, and I'm going to pass the mic after this, is everybody's attacking the marketing. That's what really everybody's attacking because he said Tulsa. Let's stop acting like all black people really know what Black Wall Street is, because we know all black people don't. Black Wall Street is not something that's talked about during Black History Month. It's not something that's really widely known. It's really not as much as what people would have you believe. He's using Tulsa as a marketing thing because he's using history to enhance his marketing campaign. And the reality of the situation is, as somebody that is a trained marketer, that is what you do. Marketers are trained and taught to look at their audience that they're trying to deal with and then appeal to them where they are. This is why he uses a lot of hip hop music and stuff like that, because he's appealing to the market where they are. And that's important. And people are trying to make him guilty of something for doing that. The reality is it's called sales. That's what you do. And when people sell any kind of investment property, they look at people where they are and target them where they are. That is what it is. That does not mean it's a scam. That does not mean it's anything. That just means that's what he did. And that really tells me that people really don't have anything. They're reading something that's saying it's alarming because of what he was made to put, which is really full disclosure and a marketing campaign. Are you serious? Is this what the fuck we got to say as far as why people alarmed? I can pull that up with anybody. Anyway, I got more to say, but I'll leave it there.
Okay, let me do this real quick. And there's some interesting positions being put out there. Guys, do me a favor. A shout out to my brother Manifesting Dreams. Thank you for having this show, O'Shea, in the Negro Manosphere. I appreciate you, my black brother. That's the second donation in a row. All right, now I know it's almost Friday. Some of y'all gotta put some empty condom wrappers in the super chat. If you can't do that, brothers, I appreciate you. Just like the video. Okay, thank you for you listening to the show. Get the likes up. We got shouts to my brother High Def. Shout out to David Willis. Ain't seen him in a minute. That's my young brother. Just graduated college. Good to see him. 13 more likes to get us to 100. That's all I gotta say, brother. That's all I gotta say. I don't really know what the fuck is going on as far as what you've said. I know very little. But I will tell you, to me, what is disturbing. And this, what I'm about to say, I think there is no defense from what I'm about to say. I think with black people, when we look for somebody that we want to trust and knowing that somebody that's black, that's asks for money, and I don't like to do that, right? I don't like to ask for people to support me on Patreon. I don't like to, and for many years I didn't. I don't like to ask people to support me on Super Chat, but I have to because you niggas got it. But here's the thing. Black people, they're looking for a reason for you to be a suspicious person. That's how we are, right? And just like women are looking for suspicious things, we're looking for that in dating too. The problem that bothers me about J Morrison is he should have had the intelligence to know, okay, if I'm going to have this $10 million fund or whatever I'm trying to raise, I don't need to be asking the people to buy e-tickets to my fucking wedding. I don't need to ask people to sponsor my wedding. I mean, bro. Let's just be honest, bro. And, you know, a lot of motherfuckers will fuck shit up off of stupid ass shit. If I'm a dude that don't make that much money here on YouTube, okay? I can afford to have a small wedding. If I'm so successful doing what I'm doing, why the fuck do I need to ask Super Sly or Edward or Sub-Zero or my following to support my wedding? It automatically makes me look like a greedy son of a bitch. It makes me look like I'm very self-centered, and it makes me look like I don't get, like, you know, I don't give a fuck. I'm asking for you to sponsor my shit. Now, if you can't make my wedding, you go ahead and reserve it and watch it. Like, nigga, number one, who the fuck are you, bro? You're nobody. In compare, you're not like Princess Diana or like that. So you want, it just goes to show, like, okay, when you do something like that, how can you trust a nigga like this? And this is probably what turns people off, because you don't have no decorum, you know, about the community. You don't have, because I can't say what he's doing is a scam, but this whole thing at the same time that he should have enough sense. Somebody should have told him, bro, look, if you're going to get married, okay, you get married with your own money, because it's going to make you look bad. But see, this is the problem with niggas in Black America. This is the same problem Umar Johnson had. This is the problem that this nigga has. And it's the greed. Like, when I was starting NegroManosphere.com, okay, I had, shout out to High Def and HC Logistics. I had to, and bro, HC, if you want to come on, you definitely can. I had to put up my own money first to prove to people that I wasn't no scam. Because, you know, niggas, man, they was going to look, if you're going to do something, bro, all right, show us that you're going to do what you say you're going to do first before we give you any fucking money. That's what I had to do. Because, you know, dealing with black people, they're going to be very suspicious. Because we have been fucked over so many goddamn times. And so I had to make every dollar that I got count. Brothers had to see I was doing ebooks. Man, it's hard to get money from you niggas. Y'all know. This ain't, people wake up on the super chat and see $50. Shit, it ain't always been like that. You know, because I had to overcome the fact that, hey, nigga, you scamming. Imagine me make a video right now. Hey, brothers, I want to raise $20,000 for me to go to Brazil. Yeah, niggas will donate, but do you know how that would make me look? That would make you question everything that I'm fucking doing. And see, that's the problem, that the nigga is, he's not that bright. Because you know how we are. You can't ask for people to do that and then have this same thing going. So I would say that J Morrison has tarnished his own fucking self with this fuckery he pulled as of late. You know, if I'm a new person, I'm like, bro, you want to sell like, what kind of nigga are you, bro? Like, are you serious, nigga? Are you something's wrong with this nigga? That's what I'm thinking. So I want to know, like, am I wrong on that? Go ahead, Sub-Zero.
No, brother, you right, man. That's airtight what you just said. I
What happened to Brother Sub-Zero, man?
I don't know.
Man, they must have
going to hurt.
He must have got hit by white supremacist wireless.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, the white man that got you, bro. Hotep.
No, I said this is gonna hurt the fun, man. You can't do that. I said if you're gonna go for something, don't turn around and ask people that, cause people get upset. Which I've had people tell me already, man, I don't like that. I'm like, yeah, I see. And this is the thing. This is where I come down on that. I think the objectivity of the argument that I was making is separate from that part of it. Now, him as a person and what he chose to do after the fact, that's on him. Now, I haven't invested in it. I don't mind people saying wait and see, because he already has 10 million. Now, if he takes that 10 million, 11 million and goes and does something with it and goes out here and does, and actually, delivers on something, because he's aligned himself with Don Peebles, a black billionaire real estate mogul. And if he does go out here and do something with it, then who knows? Next year he'll probably get more a larger influx during tax season or whatever. Then it's cool. But I do agree with you 1,000%. I'm not gonna just try to defend. See, I guess when you say something, people say you're defending, or the one guy said I was dick riding, which I wasn't. I'm like, I'm not dick riding. I'm not even saying do the investment. I'm not gonna tell you that. That's for a decision. That's a decision you have to make. But when I see people talking about the net worth as a reason not to invest, either they don't understand what investing is, or they're using a sleight of hand when you say that. Because when you say net worth, that's basically if I take all your assets minus your liabilities and stuff and say, okay, this is what you're technically worth on paper. Mm-hmm. Owner's equity equals assets minus liability. GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, right? This is what you are worth on paper. That's separate from your income. Like black people right now, it's a lot of black people that invest in their 401k at their job. Mm-hmm. So to say you shouldn't invest at all, period, because of the whole idea that, our net worth is low, that's like saying opt out of your 401k, or that's like saying opt out of anything, any investment. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying, hey, if you're not going to invest in this, fine. If he's messed it up by doing that, then fine. But I am open to someone in the black community coming, aggregating the money and doing something like that. And I do think it would be good if he did what he said he was going to do. And I do still have an approach of let's wait and see, but that was stupid. I'm not going to try to defend that shit. That was dumb.
Mm-hmm. Okay, who coughing in the background? Okay, all right. Let me bring my brother Ghana Dan. Let me do this real quick. Let me shout out to you brothers, man, because I'm gonna tell you what. Whatever little money I get on this channel, you niggas make me work like a motherfucking dog for this shit. I gotta do like 100 live streams a month to get any goddamn thing from y'all, and I appreciate you. I do. Shout out to Roscoe. If J Morrison was legit, he would have gone to expert investors to test the validity of the investment strategy before begging regular people. That's actually a good fucking point. That's actually a good point. Let me say this real quick before we go to Ghana Dan. When I wanted to start NegroManosphere.com, the person that I was going to make the editor-in-chief was Obsidian Media Network. And Obsidian Media Network was because, at the time I had made some money off AdSense, which was a little bit better. But he was like, bro, you need to find a way to, we need to raise $10,000. I was like, well, how are we going to do this? So we need to ask brothers for $10,000 for NegroManosphere.com. And I said, you know what? I just don't think. I already knew what was going to happen. If you ask black men that really not used to giving money $10,000 and you get it and something happens, to the project, your name is tarnished, you know? So I said, you know what? I'll put my own money up, you know, on negroministry.com. And then if brothers want to support it, you know, later, they have the option to do so. I'll just, you know, I'll put it out, see if it gets value, and then, you know, do it that way. And I'm glad I'm dead. Here's what I'm saying. A lot of dudes, when they want to do an investment fund like 10 or 11 or $12 million, I don't know if this guy has any experience in this, but when you are asking for niggas money, boy, look out. I'm telling you, if you don't do what you're gonna say, what you're gonna do, black people, man, they'll make you want to give you their goddamn money back. So, God, I hope everything works out, you know, with him. But I'm telling you, if you can go into a business, try not to use other black folks' money doing that shit, because it's gonna be something that you wish that you never did. What's up, bullshit? I need some money for my supercharger. What's up, Eric? Eric, hold on. PCAS says Jay has no real personal money invested in the real estate fund, and he scammed one of his friends for $200,000. All right, let's go to Ghana Dan, man. Ghana Dan, you a rich Negro. You need to let me borrow at least $5 from you, player. What you think about this? You a big business.
Hey, how you doing, everyone? Yeah, everybody need to proceed with caution, because I had hopes. I had every intention on investing, but something told me to hold up. And, you know, I listen to Tone Talks. I take a lot of what everybody say as a grain of salt until I can do further research. But allegedly, there's a lawsuit in the last 10 years, and there's a bankruptcy in the last 10 years. Then this situation would damn near GoFundMe for his honeymoon. And I met up with your boy. I don't know if he's going to join the panel, but he showed me some things in email correspondence with Jay's right-hand man when he asked questions about the practices that look similar to Jews and everybody else coming in, buying these houses for cash for the low. Allegedly, well, not allegedly, I saw the email correspondence that Jay, right-hand man, when he started asking these questions, he said, "Fuck off and lose my number." I'm telling you what I saw in our brothers. Your one of the homeboys you put me on to, O'Shea,
Right,
here in Atlanta.
Hotel.
You know, because that was a legitimate question. You know, are you going to come in and lowball people for their houses just like everybody else?
Hotel.
So that is something to be considered. And whomever chooses to invest, yes, I want to celebrate black men making things happen, but proceed with caution. And everybody got to be held to feet to the fire, because there's a lot of great black men who want to make things happen. But these constant losses we taking with Polite and Brother Umar Johnson, and the list is as long as your arm. You know, we have to find ways to implement black men holding other black men accountable. We got to be upfront about it. And there has to be I believe there need to be some form of repercussions because when you put yourself on Front Street like that, you can't be making miscalculations. You can't be asking people for $50 million and oops, I made a mistake. You better know what the hell you doing. You better have a strategy in place. And to dovetail on what you said about when you're asking black people for money, you better have all your ducks in a row, because we naturally going to scrutinize everything you say. Every black person is from Missouri. They want to show. So that's why it's important, like what you do, like what you did with the Negro Ministry. You put up your own money. How you gonna ask somebody to invest in you and you don't have anything at risk, and then you get 50% of the profit based upon the SEC filings? If I read it wrong, he get 50%. And so there's a lot of questions that have to be answered. And I wish the brother well, but you got to be intelligent when you go forward on things like this, because you can destroy your name and everybody around you. So, I think, this is going to be a valuable lesson learned. Hopefully I'm wrong, because there's a lot of little gray areas that concern me. I hope I'm wrong and everybody gets in, make money and all of that. And I will gladly support. So That's all I have to share on that one.
Okay. Shout out to again my brother High Def. Don't tell my 4 baby mama for the $50 super chat. Shout out to my brother, man. I talked to him on the phone. He a cool dude. LAR, check your email again. Check your Facebook. Shout out to you brothers, right? I gotta say this because y'all had some faith in me. Y'all niggas, I have never got called a scam artist over here, but y'all called me everything else, but a scam artist not yet. Okay, so I appreciate you brothers for what you have done for us on this channel, helping bring black men together and shit like that. So thank you, bro. I appreciate you brothers for what you do now. You niggas owe me a like the video. Let's go to my brother Super Sly, the great black shark, which is what I call him. What you got to say, brother?
So to go back to Edward's comments, okay. So the first things first, the first time I ever heard the numbers about black middle wealth or income was from Charles Krauthammer. So if Tone said the same thing, but that's where I first heard those numbers from Charles Krauthammer, and that's a white dude. That's the first thing. Second thing is on his website he has 8% on the front. Now, there's no fund that can guarantee you 8%. Are we talking 8% a quarter, or are we talking 8% annual? Now, first things first, he'll tell you, well, I make no guarantees. So if you make no guarantees, then why do you have 8% on the front of your website with this fund? So that's a bit misleading. And then, like I said, read the SEC filings for yourself. And then on top of that, I was probably one of the first people that trashed this fund on a live stream, and I caught hell from it. So then once I finally watched the SEC, looked at the SEC filings, I did a video with that one right the very next day. So as far as me watching other people's and their talking points, if it's a bad deal, it's a bad deal. I don't see how I can bite someone else's words. And like I said, when I posted it myself on my own, I don't keep track of what everyone posts at the same time. If great minds think alike, then so be it. So yeah, then you gotta talk about the bankruptcy. The guy that brought him in to help him sell his house, he sold the house from underneath the guy, and then they settled on the 200 grand. The house was worth more than the 200 grand they settled on, and he still hasn't paid to do his money. Okay, so and then on top of that, like I said, he runs for him, call himself Young Malcolm. No one calls himself Young Malcolm, but he did that. He put the target on his back. Okay, so you want heavy as the head that wears the crown, then you want my money, then be prepared for this line of questioning. And I want to know the who, what, where's, and why's. Especially if you're talking about IPOs. Now, which one is this? An IPO, or is this a REIT, or is this a straight up fund? Because I know some REITs that I'm involved with that can't get you 8%. You may hit it maybe twice a year on a good run. Okay, so but like I said, everyone do their own due diligence. And I would tell people to invest in yourself. Don't invest in another man, invest in yourself. But that's my point. That's me.
Okay. Let me go to Edward and LAR. Shout out. I'm using LAR name for views. I always do that. Shout out to LAR name. What you got to say to that, Edward?
To answer your first question, as far as some of the things that he was doing, I got one name for you. That's Travis, the founder and CEO of Uber. That dude, it had to step down because of all of the stuff that he was doing. But at the end of the day, and I'm not trying to compare J Morrison to Uber, but what I'm telling you is people understood what the investment of Uber was. There were certain people that got away from Uber because of that innuendo. Even Gary Vaynerchuk famously said that Travis came to him. That was one of the initial people that he came to, and it probably cost him like almost like $100 million for not investing I think a couple of $1 million in Travis because he didn't know what Uber would turn out to. I will also say that I've had the pleasure of talking to a guy by the name of I forget his name, but he could have invested in the Airbnb, and because he didn't believe Airbnb would he reminds me of Dave Ramsey. He didn't know the Airbnb could. This is the guy that founded kayak.com, by the way. So that's who I'm talking about. He didn't believe Airbnb could overcome the real estate laws, the housing laws in places like New York and stuff. And he said that was one of his biggest mistakes. Here's my thing. Money. I don't care if it's Jay. I don't care if it's another person. What I would ask everybody on this panel, you can answer it now, you can answer it later, is this. Can anybody give me an example of a black man? I'm not even going to say a black man you should invest in, but a black man is a good model as to what a good investor looks like. I'm curious if anybody can come up with names. because I got names in my head, but everybody wants to attack Jay. Now I want to see if people actually got alternatives as far as a model goes. Not like his fun. I'm just talking about as how an investor should carry themselves with black people. Anybody who wants to answer that question can feel free to step up. Because, oh, and by the way, to answer Super Slide directly as well, and yes, you should invest in yourself, always. But other groups don't just invest in themselves. Other groups do not perform well because they invest in themselves. You know, I live in an area with Indians, with a solid Indian population, and they control 44% of the motel industry in the United States of America, and they are a minority, a very small population. They don't control that by investing in just themselves. They control that by investing in each other. And we have a deep issue in the black community with not wanting to invest with other black men. I don't care what the excuses people want to give. Let's take Jay off the table. I can bring up any name of any person. Even if I bring up Don Peoples, people say, well, he's with a white woman. Robert Smith, he's with a white woman. Byron Allen, he's with a white. It's always going to be something. It doesn't matter. It's always Jason Black. Somebody that's delivered on what he's going to say, and somebody that I quite frankly has been a good model. Because that people talk about green. Jason Black is the opposite of that. But people say I can't see his face, so he might be a white man. It's always going to be something. What I find curious, and I'm going to end it with this, and I still want that question thrown out before this call is over, is this. Sub-Zero, I apologize. I'm sorry. Because I know you're a Christian. I'm a Christian too. But I got to say this. One of the biggest Ponzi schemes in the black community is the black church. You don't hear nobody talk about that. One of the biggest Ponzi schemes in the black community is education. Even Dr. Clark Anderson talks about the myth of the educated black Negro. Now, I'm not talking about if you go into school and you got scholarships and stuff like that, and you're going to get your bills pretty much paid as far as school. That's different. But you got how many of our women and how many black men are in unrecoverable debt? They will die in debt because they were sold the idea that they get an education, that they will have a job waiting for them, and these people are working at Starbucks. Losing $500 is not equivalent to something like that. That is an intergenerational curse. But I don't see nobody talking about that. In fact, if I mention that, people will get in their feelings and say I'm wrong for that. That's all I say to all.
Okay, Negro Wireless. All right. No, some good points. Yeah, brother. You know, shout out to K Love, $10, man. Shout out to you, brother. 378 people watching. All right, brothers. This is what I want to do. Before we go to Sub-Zero, do me a favor and increase the likes on the video. I appreciate you, brothers. And like I said, I always see the same people supporting the streams. Put some indie content rappers on the super chat, right? I'm gonna take all you niggas' money and give it to some strippers tonight. So, but seriously, get the likes. So brothers like to see people, different people supporting the streams. I know it's a lot of niggas, but man, I love you, good video. So, you know, put $1 in there if you haven't done it before. You know, it's always good to support. Now, let me do something real quick. We're gonna go to brother Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, what do you have to say, brother?
I am literally just getting back on here, man. My little boy had me doing some stuff, so he right here now staring at you, man. Okay. On the screen. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, did you hear any of that? You didn't hear any of that part, huh?
I heard him say, I heard Edward Anderson state that you know, we go into debt majorly when we start looking towards education, which I agree. I think that.
Oh, I forgot about LAR. We're going to LAR. We're going to go to so go ahead, Sub-Zero. Continue. I'm going to go to LAR next. Go ahead.
I agree with him 1,000%. I think that when you start looking for reasons why we can't even invest at all, then now you get into the mindset of a person. Or do you have a scarcity mindset or do you have an abundance mindset? When I see people that have a scarcity mindset, sometimes I want to slap the shit out of them. That's why I don't even want to fuck with them. That's why I don't want to stay around them. Because to me, I hear weakness. I hear, you know, let's go to the government hat in hand and beg the government to, after 450 years of oppression, finally grow a heart and give us some shit. We don't have no money. We don't have anything to control, anything to make any type of contributions or anything. But hey, that lion in the middle of the Serengeti is gonna loosen his fangs off of the impala's throat and let him live. That's not the way shit works. It hasn't worked like that. The Democrats have ran the House, the Senate, and the White House. They've done it before on numerous occasions, and we didn't get a damn thing. So for me, I don't feel like that's a good strategy. I think it starts with economics. That's just it. So we're dealing with a war of ideas, man, and that's it. So dropping the fact that black people are economically at a certain level is not a smoking gun. I'll agree. Nobody's arguing with that. As far as the net worth of black people, who will argue with that? This is where we are. I agree. Now, what do we do about it? That's where that's where we have a divergence.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Again, shout out to my brother Connections, man. He's always in here. This is just all I want to say before we go to LArmovement. Let me say this real quick. As a conservative, what black people need to do, in my opinion, I mean, investing in yourself is a great thing, but you got to stop fucking and having all these goddamn kids that you can't take care of. You got to have 2 incomes. Okay. You need to have certain skill sets. I was talking to Ghana Dan earlier. We were talking about our brother, man, who's currently stuck, over in Africa somewhere, moved his family out there and they broke, you know what I'm saying? And now the motherfuckers is like, how can you help us come back? You know what I'm saying? That's the situation they in right now. And really it comes down to a lack of skill set that's important in America. It's a lack of families coming together, and it's parents, not setting up something for their kids or leaving something to their kids, right? And all of that is really what's fucking up Black America, And that plays y'all niggas gotta stop. And you, not you Negroes, nigga, but you female Negroes, y'all gotta stop pushing out these goddamn babies that you can't fucking take care of. Okay, that's putting Black America in the poverty. That's what that shit is. You motherfuckers cannot stop that doggy style. That's what's killing Black America is booty in doggy style in X videos. You niggas need to stop all of this fucking that y'all doing. Okay, get like me, nigga. I'll fall asleep on the bitch. Okay, y'all niggas is hitting all this ass, and you women is letting these niggas hit that head. And that's why Black America is so broke. That's why you ain't got 500. Because y'all won't stop fucking. I can't. Just everywhere in the back of Buicks, nigga, Burger King bathrooms. And then y'all be taping this shit, putting it all on the internet, all on, without a condom, just going in raw. Just put X videos. Just go ahead and upload it. Just upload it. Fuck it. Rude.com. Upload it. Got your face all in the video, nigga. Just nasty. And then when the baby come out, you're going to say, I don't know how it happened. I know how it happened. I was watching you. I mean, until, you started putting in their booty, because I ain't in all that. But I'm just saying, man, that's what's wrong with Black America. And it's not really J Morrison's fault, but y'all cannot stop all of this fucking that y'all niggas is doing. Y'all need to stop all of that, man. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, LAR. I don't want to send it to Patreon, but these niggas need to stop.
Did you use a Digital Underground reference?
They got to stop, man. They're doing too much.
Okay.
They're doing too much fucking, man. That's what the problem is. That's why you ain't got no money, because y'all getting no child support. Y'all fucking anything that moves, and then you want to get. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Let me just be quiet. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop.
There's some positives and negatives about this situation. That's how I look at it. Sorry for being late. CP time. One of the positives is he made an IPO and he got like 10 million in 7 days. Okay. Crowdfunding, whatever. However you want to call it. That says people are willing to try something. I think the negative is when people look at J Morrison, the person, compared to other people, he looks less trustworthy. But once you put yourself in the SEC bucket, I don't care how hard you try to hustle, you ain't gonna hustle away from them.
Exactly.
Now, if Don Peoples is anywhere affiliated with this, I think, you know, say if he got if the IPO, if it made 25 million in say a month, I think Don Peoples would say, okay, you got at least half of an investment. He might get involved and put the other half up.
Exactly.
But you know, and I would actually trust him more than J Morrison, to be perfectly honest. But as far as us as a community, here's our weird thing. We look at people like J Morrison as scam artists, right? And I can see why. But we don't look at the pastor as a scam artist, but we give him money. But on the flip side, we want somebody like, say, LeBron James, just give us $30 million to do whatever, and we'll never have to pay you back. See, we as a people, we can't grow if on one end, everybody that does something is a scam artist, and on the other end, you want somebody to do it for free and you not pay them back. That is not how you create an economy. So there's got to be some give and take. Do I understand that it's a risk? Absolutely. Like I said, do I trust who J Morrison is as a person? If you're selling tickets to your wedding, you're a little something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. Like, who? Okay, so you want people to make strangers to sell tickets to your wedding, and it makes it look like you sell anything. And there's some things you need to be private, just so it makes you look bad as a businessman. Because if you're making your wedding day a business, it makes people like, what the hell would you do with this stuff? But like I said, there's positives and there's negatives. But once you get...
Can I speak to that? Can I speak to that real quick when you get a chance?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you go for it, bro.
The thing is, and this is where I agree with you guys 1,000%. I live in Atlanta. I'm sorry. I live in Atlanta, and a lot of times you'll see J Morrison hanging out with Jeezy, T.I. He's a guy who stood in front of some YouTube videos with a whiteboard and a damn pen and spoke on some stuff that he actually knew some stuff. I'm not gonna disrespect his knowledge, but where I think it goes wrong is he does sit around with these guys, and I think he's kind of like with celebrities. A lot of times they don't have nobody in that corner to sit them down and say, "Bruh, that's a bad look. That's stupid. Don't do that." And that's why a lot of times you see people do shit like Chris Brown or these celebrities, and he's gotten to that status where he thinks he's a celebrity. He's been on Breakfast Club, been interviewed on there. So that part of it is bad. That's why I'm not just 100% like, do this. This is a great investment. You'll never hear me say that. All I said was, let's see. That's all I say. Let's wait and see. I'll drop some money. I'll drop $500 in there, you know. And the thing is, and let me say this too, the way it works is with cash flow, you don't necessarily have to have that money. It may hurt if you take $500 at one time. It may not hurt as much if you say, I'm gonna take $10 a paycheck and drop it in there for a year or 6 months until I get to that $500. That way I don't feel it. Cash flow and money management is important. So when you put the money in there, it's important as to how much. So, you know, and I think it's good. I think it helps because there's some little young child out there watching, seeing this, and he knows now that, hey, the Black community can be tapped as a resource if I come with my shit together and it's legit and I'm not trying to rob people. So it's good in that respect to me.
Yeah, here's the weird dichotomy of this. If you look up his name, at some point it's gonna say celebrity real estate. You know what I'm saying? And here's the problem with that. You know, I get on one end, we don't see each other as Black people in business models. You get what I'm saying? So people are getting on television and in social media as a platform to say we do different stuff other than sports and entertainment. I get that angle. I really do. You know, it lets people know you don't have to just be this or that. But on the other end, in some ways, he makes himself look like, you know, I'm more celebrity than a real estate investor. And that's a problem because you wouldn't want to let me go to a celebrity lawyer. Dog, this is not for the cameras. I need you to win. I don't want to go to a celebrity, you know, chef who just do it for the TV and the food's terrible. At some point, I need you to hone in on what you do. That's why I say I'm more leaning to the part of Don Peoples, because Don Peoples ain't worried about celebrity. He worried about business. And that's why, that thing with the wedding is touchy to me, just like O'Shea was talking about, because I'm not sure at some point he's worried about real estate or celebrityism. And that's going to be a problem. But I'm going to shut my dumb ass up right now. Watch X videos while y'all talking.
Yeah, let me do this. I gotta shout out a few brothers on the super chat. Shout out to again, y'all leave that doggy style alone. I'm trying to tell you, it's crazy. K-Love again, $10 economic talk is much need. Thank you, brother. All 4 pockets full of this channel is this shit. Thank you, player. I love the realness. Booga all day. Boog all day. My bad, brother. Thank you so much, brother. $5. It's like a first time I've seen this brother on the super chat. I love to see new brothers, man. Thank you for the support, player. Eric P, Dr. Deacon Eric P, have some discipline. Preach, O'Shea. Man, oh man, baby's not a blessing if you're not blessed. Shout out to Eric Robinson. Yeah, y'all brothers, man, cut all that fucking out. Silverback Swole, Tulsa Fund versus Pastor Private Jet Fund. Man, we were just talking about that. Let me ask. Let me go to Ghana Dan, and we're gonna go to Edward. Okay, so what's going on, bro? Like we got the brother man talking about, this whole celebrity wedding thing, and then we're gonna get to the black pastors piece in a minute. But when you see the brother selling these tickets for the wedding and all that shit, what do you think? What's and then his wife? I saw what the wife looked like, man. Arms a little flabby, player. That's all I gotta say. She looked cool, but she a little arms a little flabby. Little flabby player. I'm just a little flabby. Did y'all notice that? She a little big.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all saw that? Anybody see that? She a little big player. I'm just saying she a little big.
Yeah, I saw it.
Hey, she in the South, man. Them country boys, we like them like that.
She got some bye-bye arms. You know what I'm talking about? When she waves by, the arm. And I'm an ugly nigga, and I get somebody look better than that.
Hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna condone being fat.
I'm just saying some bye-bye arms. You wave one way, the arm go the opposite way. I'm just saying, bye-bye arms player. I saw that. She cute, but the bye-bye arms is a little. All that money you getting, player. She could be a little in better shape for that wedding, player. I'm just letting you know. She should be a little tighter than that. But go ahead on, Ghana Dan.
And LAR just touched on something that was very profound. That where Mills is focused on business, he ain't be all up in the camera, being seen by. Whereas J Morrison, you got your feet in 2 different realms of existence. Are you a celebrity or are you a real estate investor? If things go bad, which one are you going to protect? You're going to try to protect your real estate investment image and name, or are you going to try to protect your celebrity image and fame? And that's something that has to be considered. Just like, you don't want a doctor that's a rap artist, or you don't want a lawyer that's knocking heads overnight. You want them focused, driven on that one thing, and then you expand out. But one of the things that gotta be considered is, go back to what you said. I know it's kind of, there's a direct correlation between divorce and poverty, or broken homes and poverty. But I hope all black men who are striving to have something come with a shit together, have a business plan. There's a lot of brilliant men and women out here who are CPAs or who understand marketing, who can help you get your image right, help you put together a platform where it's solid. And those who want to invest, I wouldn't mind investing in something that's solid. I don't have a problem with that. It's just, I just see too many red flags that concern me, and I'm hoping this experience, because this is going to either crash or burn, or it's going to be something beautiful. Either way, it's going to be a powerful lesson. And if the brother does crash and burn, and if it's not scam related, we help him out, and hopefully he will listen. But it goes back to the celebrity piece, which investment is he going to protect? That celebrity or that real estate?
Ghana Dan, brother, you made some good points, man. But you Shaka Zulu Wireless, man. Somebody threw a spear on the cell phone tower.
Sorry about that, man.
I just, brother, you was on the same hill that Jesus preached on. Mount Transfiguration, brother. Okay, so let me shout out to brother Man of Tomorrow. $25 a share. I bought $1,000 worth. Trust me, I'll keep you posted. Minimum investment is $500. That'd have been interesting to see what you would have said, but you in the meeting. All right, I don't want to. I'll try not to curse, man. So see, somebody said auto tune Africa. You niggas ain't about shit. Okay, let me go to Edward, man. Edward, what's going on with you, player? What you thinking about this pimping?
There's some good points that people are putting out there. I mean, what I would say is celebrity does not necessarily mean that you don't know what you're doing. And I know that's not what people said, but I see people keep on alluding. People keep on coming back to the marketing. What I would have did the marketing campaign the same way, I wouldn't have, because I would always be thinking about the Negro naysayers, because the Negro naysayers have more power in the Black community when it comes to business, because Black people are risk averse because we don't trust each other.
Okay.
This is why we operate on a very high individual mindset. Number one. I would also
one second. Shout out to Marlon Brown. Shout out to Marlon Brown, brother. I forgot about the follow. My bad. Shout out to brother Marlon Brown. Go ahead.
No, nobody questions Robert Kiyosaki, even though Robert argued is a celebrity financial person.
Okay.
People Donald Trump, but that didn't stop Donald Trump from getting his. He went through bankruptcy and stuff like that.
God damn.
One of my favorite.
Hotel Wireless.
Can you hear me?
Hell no. What nigga? Where were you at? You went there with Gunna Dan on Mount Transfiguration?
All right, let's do this. Give me a second. And
it sounds better now. Keep talking, man. You're doing good.
Okay. Right now. So like I said, people don't know who Robert Kiyosaki. People don't really know what Robert Kiyosaki does when it comes to investments. People. Donald Trump obviously was celebrity. Celebrity is used as a time to amplify your profile. You see that with a lot of different celebrities. It doesn't mean they don't know what they're doing. And in my opinion, like I keep coming back to this, Black people, and I understand what you're saying, Ghana Dan, but what I would respond directly to you, Ghana Dan, is I can't tell you how many times I've been cussed out because I talked about Black people need to invest overseas. And I actually cite your interview with Search for a Huru as an example of Black men doing that. But because Black men are scared, they want to sit there and say that's bullshit. Ain't no wealth over there. Ain't no Ghana. You know more than I do some of the dumb shit Negroes will say when it comes to their excuses to not want to get a passport. And saying that, I want to transition. Well, I'm not trying to I want to talk about the church thing, and I'm gonna leave it at that because you don't see people talking about Creflo Dollar really like you see people coming out with this fund. You didn't see people talk about Eddie Long and these mega churches. These mega churches have sucked up more money out of the Black community. Between mega churches and education, people getting degrees that hasn't translated into wealth versus Black men in particular could have go in the trucking industry. That's where all the Black money is. And then you add the kid thing you said. Okay, let me do these three things. With Black men, is sex. So that's the kids. So when we buy sneakers, high price cars, shit we don't need to get artificial status in order to get women easier, tricking by 2 degrees of separation, I call it. That's where our money goes to. The kids are where our money goes to. Well, the church not anymore, but as a community, the church, and then the fucked up degrees. That's where our money is. And then on top of that, the wealth we lost in the real estate market in 2008. Not because we got set up, because people decided to get loans they knew they couldn't pay back because they wanted to believe that they could pay, they knew they couldn't. So the church, I don't see people getting this buck with the Black church. That's my thing, and I'm gonna end it with that.
Let me respond to that real quick. And I gotta sometimes break up my debating tactics, brother. But I still love you, but I gotta do this to you. I think here it's almost like when we tell Black women something, and will white women do it too? That's pretty much what you're saying, and that's really not the argument. The argument is about what he's doing, and what you're saying is Well, we don't say what, and again, what that is what it is called a deflection. That's what you're doing right now. And I'm not saying that you don't make a good point, but that's not the point. So we got to keep it there, and that's actually the truth. The second point about it is you mentioned about Donald Trump, and then you mentioned about these other people who were celebrities. Well, Donald Trump was a celebrity, has been a celebrity for a long time. This guy is trying to become. The cases are similar but not equivalent. You understand? So it's different when you're wanting to become a celebrity. You're trying to be. Do you get what? I think that's the point. The point that you're making is talking about people who were already there. So I don't think that's necessarily the same.
So respond directly to that is my point in bringing up these other examples is not to deflect, but I can understand why it could be seen as such. So I'll give you that. My point is, Black people do. I have not said you should invest in the fund. I'm like Sub-Zero. I said have a wait and see approach. My point is, people want to come out the gate with all of this. It's not like this thing has been around and then there's stuff. It's all of a sudden, we're not trying to say, let's have a we'll see approach and then focus on it. And some people are. I'm not accusing everybody of all of that. But my point is, with Black people, I'll say it this way. I'm going to say it this way directly to something you've said. Okay. You have always said, when we have people like, the simps that write stupid articles like Black men or the white men or the Black community and stuff like that, you have always stated, it is our fault because we don't pay these people off. Well, the reality is if J Morrison would have been in the background and created a fund where a whole bunch of whites and Jews would have invested in that fund, and then which is a closed door fund, not going directly to the people, and then people that started buying real estate, and you would have found that out, then all of a sudden people wouldn't be talking about, well, white people and Jewish people invested in it must be a good investment. They'd be calling him gentrifier in chief. So my point is, it really doesn't matter how you go about it. The reality is Black people have a problem investing in each other. Okay. That's the real issue here. Because if you bring up anybody that's Black, because I'm going to keep saying this, give me an alternative. People have given me Don Peoples. You got people like Mark Whitten. You got people like Peter Harris. But when I ask these people these questions, they don't know. And here's why I ask those questions. I don't ask those questions to deflect, because, again, my argument is not necessarily to invest in this fund. If you don't like J Morrison, I'm waiting for the next guy, like the Mark Whitten, to come up, who's also been interviewed with the Breakfast Club, where Mark Whitten might be on the up and up. Because I'm not going to defend selling e-tickets to a wedding. I'm not going to defend it. That's on some buck shit. But my point is, this is the same thing that came up with Boyce Watkins. People, I understand with Umar, it just doesn't matter who the Black man is. It is always going to be something. If Don Peebles, it will be he's with a white woman, so you can't trust him. It don't matter. That's my point. And what I'm speaking to is not so much the fun. It is this issue that Black men have where we do not trust each other so much that, quite frankly, why we have certain conversations about group economics. Hell, Black people don't even trust Dr. Claude Anderson. Okay. Let's keep that real. Dr. Claude Anderson says he can't give away to Black people, but he can sell to non-Black people.
That's
so
a
my
shame.
point is, the bigger this dude has spent his life defending Black people. So all I want to understand with those examples is not to deflect from the obvious things that are there with J Morrison, because quite frankly, J Morrison said some simp shit too that I haven't mentioned on some Black woman is God shit. And you know how I feel about it to say that. But my point is, a lot of these dudes want to be investment and financial experts when a Black man is doing something. Again, a lot of these dudes probably ain't even doing investments like that. Okay. A lot of the trolls and stuff. Just saying.
Okay. Let me do this. Points taken. We'll talk about that on the next thing. Let's do Eric Robinson. Here's a donation for the Zulu Wireless Plan Upgrade Fund. Yeah, man, because y'all over there stuck in Wakanda, brother. Do me a favor. Listen, I'm glad that all of you Negroes are here. You know what I'm saying? Watching the show is late. Not as late here in Poland. So I'm gonna try to keep it going for at least another 45 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Get the likes up though. If I get to 300 likes, man, I might go another hour. But like I said, we got 200. I ain't gonna keep it going if you niggas can like the video. Every day I tell y'all to like the video. Thank you for those who are watching the restream. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to my brother Super Sly, and then we're gonna go to LAR. But this is what I want to say. So Super Sly, you can weigh in or whatever you want to weigh in at some point. But I want to ask you this question: do we have a problem with checking other black people? Because I think are trying to support other blacks. I think Edward does make a point that we will look for a reason to be dismissive. We'll look for a reason to say that a black person is a scam artist. So is he right on that? And then whatever else you wanted to address, go ahead, Super Slide.
Yes and no. Did we not support brothers like Polite and Umar without question? And the problem is when they didn't deliver on said promise, it doesn't help for the next person coming behind them that has a great idea.
Bingo.
Or that. So that's the problem. Secondly, I watched Jay for 30 minutes on his video get upset and flustered and shame people and call people basically stupid for not being smart enough to do what he's trying to do. If you have a plan and you believe in the plan and it's solid and you already know how your people are, you should already be prepared for detractors, naysayers. So when they come at you, you just lay it out for them. The man sat there for 30 minutes with a blank board, like he's going to explain to us how the fund works, and yet it turned into a shaming session. And then on top of that, why are we waiting for someone to give us economic freedom through real estate? Go to your listings in Detroit and Baltimore and buy one of them dollar lots and pay the yearly taxes on them and just sit on it until the white folk come buy it out and then buy you out. Problem solved. We don't even do stuff like simple things like that. So why are we sitting here waiting for another black messiah to come lead us down the economic freedom land? That's my issue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Is there anything else you wanted to address that he said at all, or?
I mean, the celebrity thing, you should never trust a celebrity. And it's clear that he's trying to attain celebrity status. And now I'm supposed to be impressed that he hangs with Jeezy. I mean, Jeezy is the same rapper that told our kids to trap or die, but then when his kid graduates college, well, here's a picture of my kid graduating college. Well, I was telling your kids to go do some other shit. So celebs are not to be trusted. You should be wary. If that's his end game, then yeah, he'd be well off to protect that, because he can always go generate something based off the celebrity status of that he's attained. And I see people trying to separate Jay's fund from how he's operating his wedding. They kind of go hand in hand, if you ask me, because no man of integrity would do that. The only reason I'm upset with Jay is because the wedding thing is ingenious, and I wish I had thought of that shit my damn self. I would love to charge motherfuckers $50 to watch me watch me get married. That's ingenious. That's why I'm upset with Jay. That's it.
Let's go to LAR real quick. And shout out to Mr. Grandeur. This is for the midget scrippers. Thank you so much, my brother K-Love. That's his third donation tonight. Power Nubbix, Buck a must read. Don't let him out donate, y'all. Put a condom or a chicken strip in the super chat. Go ahead on, brother LAR.
I'm gonna tie in the church and the rollout. All we have to do in our community, for the most part, is for decades, you get a good hoop and holler, and a Messiah could come along and save you, wrapped in barbecue sauce and Hennessy, and people are jumping on board. And the problem with that is that's similar to the rollout for this Tulsa fund, because I know when people thought about it, I know it immediately went to Black Wall Street. We coming back, and to a degree, it's a subconscious hustle that can work on us, and that ain't a diss to J Morrison. It's really a understanding of how we work as a people. We want somebody to come along and do something magical, and then we can say we did it, instead of individually doing what we need to do as a people. We don't want to take control of our own situations, our own families, our own communities. We want somebody to come along and do it for us, and then say, Wakanda forever. Like, bitch, you wasn't even there. So that's the problem. That's a major, major problem. And it is true. The same thing with Umar, Polite, and all of them. But see, here's the thing. they did the same thing. They made you believe in the ideology, and we was gonna come together. We gonna do it. But the difference is, people, and this is a problem that we do have. Brothers don't have to be perfect to try to do something.
Hello.
And you know, we act like, damn, you know, if I need you to walk on water and turn the water into warm ice so I could walk over it but not get my feet cold type shit. And it's a problem because all of the people that we rave about who are businessmen in America, all of them did something fucked up. All of them had trial and error moments. All of them can be looked at scam artists. All of them. But then we get extra mad when it's the black guy. And it's like, well, can I get mad at J Morrison? No. Are there red flags? Yes. But here's the problem. We buy a lot of shit with a lot of people who got red flags. I mean, if he would have did the real estate with some Dre beats on, some Jordans on, and a Gucci belt with some Versace shades, people would have been like, you know what? He right up my alley. You know, so like to a degree, we got to look at ourselves too and internally how we get down. And before I shut up, I'll say this. When y'all was talking about the spending, y'all forgot one. Self-esteem spending, because we got to keep up with white folks.
Oh yeah, you know
this is part of this investment is about. You know, now it's time. Now it's the weird part about it is when it's time to invest, we don't try to keep up with white folks.
Let me add to that, brother. Hotep Nation. That's an inside joke to me. It's Solo TV 84. We always say that shit all day, even when we on the phone. And Hotep. I want to say this real quick, man, about Black America and why I hate most of you Negroes. Not all of you, but most of y'all. Why I hate you. In order to appeal to the masses, you got to play dumb and niggerish. You know, like if I want to get the help of black people, let me start hanging around like, I don't know, Young Jeezy, T.I. Let me associate myself with really who are some of the worst stereotypes of Black America. You know, niggas you wouldn't want your daughter messing with, niggas who, you know, I'm the king of the stuff I done so dope. I think, and to be honest, if I'm not trying to throw this, you know, throw no shade on the brother, but I heard he has some priors himself. But it just kind of goes to show you, man, that a lot of times this is what these are the kind of guys that can actually get stuff done in Black America, playing to the lower crowds of niggas. And that's what Black America is about. The more niggified you are, and I mean, I ain't talking about niggified as far as, you know, cussing a few niggas out every now and then like I do. But you have to appeal to the lower masses of people to get some shit done. That's something I think that's fucked up, something I'm never willing to do. Look, yeah, I might be niggified to a certain point, nigga, but if you are a dumb motherfucker, I ain't got nothing for you. I ain't got nothing. I can't help you. And also, he appeals a lot to a lot of women also, in which I think Edward was talking about some of that. So it's almost like if you want to make it in America, you got to do two things. One thing you got to do is appeal to black women. And the second thing you got to do is be extraordinarily dumbass acting. You know, that's the problem right now we have in Black America. I believe, just like W.E.D. Boys be to a certain degree, the smartest people are who you look to. Whenever in Black America, you got to come down to what the stereotype of a dumb nigga is or a flashy nigga is to get people to fuck that. You know what I'm saying? And I again, that just shows you where we are in Black America. And that's why Black America is so fucked up. Because you got to really be, you got to be a simp. You got to hang out with niggas who got, you know, murder charges, gold teeth to get anything. Look, I'm a charismatic motherfucker too. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, real talk. but just to be a dumbass nigga though. And that's like, if I was in black, you would never have me hanging out. I would not be hanging out with niggas like Jeezy or, I mean, no disrespect to him, but they wouldn't be my friends for the most part. I mean, I might do a YouTube video with them, whatever, but that's not who you'll be seeing me hang out with on a daily basis. Because me and them ain't the kind of niggas. You feel me? I'm just, that's all I had to, don't get me wrong, I ain't trying to put nobody down, but it's like, if I gotta play hip hop music and I gotta sell this for, nigga, I don't need to do it. Look, you niggas need to tell these niggas the truth. Y'all niggas stop fucking so much. Lay off the doggy style. You women close your legs. Get married. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, like I said, get your skill trades up. Support. Do it the hard way. That's how you build wealth. But anyways, let me shut up. Let me shout out some of the super chats real quick, man, brothers. Y'all know I'm long-winded. Edward Anderson, and he didn't injected me with his long-windedness. Shout out to CACA, but if a black person messed up, why does that bear on the next black person when Donald Trump filed for bankruptcy 4 times? Did other white men have to bear the burden of his? Okay, I'll ask that question. The problem, we have a hard time doing these projects because we putting everything into one man rather than in the team that can break it all down to singular thought. Z Chronicles Plan B for Sly and LAR. DKS 32 Ways to Succeed in Business. Magic Johnson, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Great books. The rich are sharing their ways to wealth. Just do it. Shout out to my boy DKS. Okay, shout out to your player. Let's go to damn, I'm in here drunk without no whiskey. Let's go to my man Sub-Zero 3639. What you got to say with that, player?
No, I agree with you. I think that the hood crowd tends to be the crowd that we go to get popularity, even politically. When we go to our political system, we focus on the lowest common denominator. People that didn't get their work in school, people that had 5 or 6 babies. That is the whole sum of black political, interests. Section 8 welfare, food stamps. I hate to say it, even the prison industrial complex, even though it is an unfair business that should be reformed, but we're worrying and trying to appeal to the lowest common denominator instead of the best and brightest, the doctors, scientists, guys in our community that are the best. That's who we should be getting behind. Right. And I don't see us doing that. So one thing about this brother, man, I'm gonna say this. You're right, he's not perfect. I just have a mindset. You about to go to bed, boo. I have a mindset of, that, just wait and see. If it fails, it fails. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I just, like I said, I'm not one of the ones that want to pull it down for peripheral reasons. I see it. See, my thing is I see the arrogance. I'm not gonna lie, but let me tell you something. I've done deals in real estate and business. I've owned businesses, comedy clubs. I've done promoted concerts. I work with a lot of assholes and people that have had shit in their past. And if you were to pull their resume or pull their record, you would see stuff not necessarily criminal, but just unscrupulous, not making payments, so that doesn't necessarily deter me more so than I just look at the deal in and of itself. I understand a lot of times in business when you're going to a bank, you look at a person's credit, but in business a lot of times you will work with somebody that's racist. I've done business transactions with people that hate my damn guts that are racist. But I made money, they made money. Yeah, I bought a piece of property. I talked about this before. I bought a piece of property for a certain amount and made $100,000 on it 4 hours later. But the couple that I bought it from was racist. I knew they were racist. They live out there in Ottaville with the big ass Confederate flag right out there. But at the end of the day, I did business with them, and I had to kind of work with them. So it just depends, man. I mean, I'm looking at the deal. I'm looking at time. Less time is gonna tell, man, if he's full of shit. If he is, he is. I do agree with the guy. I think it fucks it up for the next person that really is coming with some real legitimate opportunity. But if they are, in time, even their investment will prove to be a good investment and people will get behind it.
Okay. Let me do this real quick and shout out to my brother Sub-Zero, being a good father, man. Got the baby also in the podcast. Fly guy. Jay may have good intentions, but the celebrity self promotion is real. Borderline egomaniac. egomaniacal. Shout out to BMT again. Support the Brotherhood Network and pay tithes and offer $20 super chat. Brothers, don't let this guy be the second. You know, we got brothers donating 2 or 3 times, man. The same person. So do me a favor. I know everybody ain't got money, but you do have the ability to like the fucking video. 49 likes will take us to 300. I know Supersly hate when I say that, but get the likes up anyway. Okay. 49. Jesus paid it all on the cross. So for you, the likes are free. Okay. Hallelujah. Go ahead on and get the likes up, brothers. I appreciate all of y'all in here tonight. Thank you for listening to the show. Ghana Dan, he left. Okay. So, all right, let's talk about this. All right. Because I think CACA says, well, you know, Donald Trump has this issue. He can go bankrupt 4 times. But if it's a black person, you know, then we only have 1 time. I think kind of tough.
I'm out. I got class, man. My bad. I'm out. Y'all have a good day, man.
All right. Peace out, player.
Hold it down for me, boy.
We're gonna hold it down, man. We're gonna try. I think Wakanda Wireless got Ghana Dan, man. He out there in Serengeti. Let's go to LAR, man. Like, okay, let's say Donald Trump had this fund for Negroes. Would we be criticizing, let's say not even Donald Trump, a white person similar to J Morrison's profile? You know, given the situation, would we have an issue with a white person doing what J Morrison's doing in the black community with raising, you know, $10 million for a Tulsa real estate fund? Will we have an issue with that?
First of all, we ain't got white people money. They got enough people to cover their F-ups. We don't. You know, I think we look at everybody in the same way that Dame Dash is looking at Lee Daniels right now. And that's an issue. But see, here's the other issue that we don't want to talk about. How many of y'all done fucked up money in your own family that was supposed to be for somebody else? Mm-hmm. See, we want to talk about these big ticket issues like, you know, will white folks do that? Well, look at your own family. Since we want to bring up education, how many of your family members done shit that they had to get bailed out for financially that fucked up somebody else's money to go to school? Nobody says a word about that, right? Is that white folks' problem? That's our problem. We want to trust in this guy and have all these questions for this guy, which I understand. But I find it real funny for us as a people. Like the people who are smart enough to ask real questions, they can get ignored real fast because most of us are dumb to business. So all you got to do is placate to the people who are the lowest common denominator, and they're all like form like Voltron to say, shut up, we trying to do big things. But along the way, white people had like people forget. It wouldn't be no Apple if it wasn't for Bill Gates. He gave Steve Jobs the money. We don't have people to do stuff like that because I bet you Bill Gates got his money back from Steve Jobs. See, we want them people to invest in us like, man, why don't, you know, Magic Johnson give him 50 million? Because he ain't gonna pay Magic Johnson back, and you can tell. That's why. You know, okay. That's why. You know, people didn't want to invest in Umar. Why? Because ultimately, I think it was a good plan, but ultimately he didn't want to work with what he had, 1, and 2, the business plan came off like he wanted to keep giving him money every year. See, we don't talk about, we can see the qualities of people in our community who will not give you return on the investment. Mm-hmm. And we got issues with somebody go hunting a person who don't get return on investment. People forget, like I live out here in Texas. When Enron happened, you know, them dudes was coming up missing.
Damn, really?
This evening on the news, one of the other guys from Enron was found in his car with his head blown off.
Really?
You don't know what happened. Hell yeah.
Oh, they got the suicide by make up something.
Yes. Like when like we don't talk about when other communities invest in people and they come up short, people come up missing.
Damn.
You know, we want to do I know you got it. Jesus gonna give it back to you. Don't play that. We the only community that play that. Everybody else.
Yeah, Bernie Madoff got life.
And we forget about the other people, the bankers, when that happened, who came up missing too. So, you know, if we want to talk about business, it's deeper than just, walk around in your suit and say, we wrote a piece of paper. We wrote a deal on a piece of paper. People ain't playing when it comes to their money.
No, they're not.
And to a degree, that's why we like kind of people who got kind of criminal minds, because those are people who gonna get their damn money.
Right. That is true. One thing, I'm going to cut you up, but one thing I want to say, I got to give him at least, what it does show is this, that Black America has the money to do. I would think, what if the buy-in initial was like maybe $100 or something like that? I mean, who knows if it would even be even more than that. So I will commend, I will say something positive about the brother, right? 'Cause I don't know if he's a scam or not, but I will say for him to even have the ability to do this, it's a positive thing. It just goes to show you like how powerful that Black America is. Shout out to my brother Ronald Armstrong and Jumungi Real. And Ronald, if you want to come on, you can. It just goes to show us like Black America, we do have the money, we can do things. You know what I'm saying? But here's what I'm saying. That happens in Black America, man. Like, me starting the Negro Manosphere and at least getting support, like you guys said. I always get support every time I do a show or every time we have over 500 Patreons. What I will tell guys is, if you want to do something Black oriented, man, you can start small. Okay, you can start small. Even if I could get $1 million right now on a GoFundMe from what I'm doing right, I wouldn't even take it, because I don't even know what I would do. At that point, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know. I mean, to me personally, right? I think, when you get a fund like $10 or $11 million in is this the first week he got this?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you never, ever been in that kind of situation before, because to me, it's like, if you asking for $50 for people to see, because people who really got money, right? You really a celebrity. Imagine like, the royal family. Oh yeah, we're gonna marry my King Prince whatever is gonna marry Harry, gonna marry Meghan Markle. Oh, by the way, it's $50 to see the wedding. Like, niggas who have money, they don't need to do shit like that. So to me, what it shows me is like, all right, nigga, you really ain't got no money. I mean, at least to me, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta give him credit that the brother was able to at least get this far, because it just goes to show like you can't get it done. But I will also warn you, you're dealing with Black people shit and Black based shit. Start off small, get a good reputation. Whatever people give you at first, take it and make something happen with it. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting $5 here, because we have like for example, for me, we have 500 patrons in the Negro Manosphere. Only thing I ask brothers for every month is $5 a month. You know what I'm saying? I do my award ceremony. I operate my whole website off of that. We operate the ebooks. Matter of fact, Tony Maceo just wrote another free ebook. And whatever brothers give, we just take it from there, and we try to subsidize or whatever I get on YouTube and add to that. So I would say, just start small and build up a good reputation. But I think this brother was having $12 or $11 million, man, in 7 days. I don't even know if the brother is ready for that. Like, what do you do with that kind of money? But all right, let me do this because let me shout out some of the super chats real quick, man. I'm gonna go to Edward. Great show, brothers. My brother Juan De La Cruz, $2. Ronald K. Armstrong, most Blacks don't have a good business plan or idea. Shout out to you. Jumungi Real, distrust is our biggest obstacle, so we always look for excuses. But anyway, great podcast. Treat yourself to a fried, gizzled, sandwich, hog mog smoothie. Brother, you trying to give me a heart attack with all that good food you talking about. All right, let's go to Brother Edward, man. What you want to weigh in on, player?
All right, the first thing that I was gonna say is I'm friends, most of us are, with Erica Shanta Williams on Facebook, and she shared, and this is for LAR. She actually shared an article, and I need to read it, but the headline said that as of now, the most concentrated black people are in Texas, which I found very interesting. So I'm definitely going to read that. She also had another diatribe talking about how northern black folks from the north look down on black people from the south, and now they moving down there, which is on some jokey stuff, I guess. But I'm definitely going to read that article, because as black people start to move, and this is where I will give Super Sly, credit for this. I tend to rail against hyper individualism, but at the end of the day, it does start with you. It starts with you. And there's no way around that, because even if you operate within a group, that you're only as good as what you can bring to that group. You can only get out of that group as much as what you bring to it. And the reality is, what I can admit to, even going beyond buying cheap $1 lots, we need to get a lot of black people that's buying a mortgage. Black people have a big, and I'm talking about in particular, black men have a bad habit of wanting to rent for their whole life. And if you really think about it this way, here's some real estate, advice for you. If you rent for, and people don't think about this, and I understand that, but if you rent for 10 years and you're paying what, $800 a month, let's assume it's that, it's probably more. That's 96, 8 times 12 is 9,600. You multiply that times 10 years, that's 96,000. Now, obviously, that wouldn't all be a mortgage. You got other fees that you pay, like homeowners insurance, taxes, blah, blah, blah. So let's say that's like $65,000. That's $65,000 of wealth you don't have in 10 years versus, we're not even counting like the appreciation of value for whatever house you have. Right there. Now, I got Indians out here where I live where they will all be making $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 a year, and they'll live together because they're not married yet. And what happens is one person will own the townhouse, because they buy townhouses in groups. They buy whole subdivisions, and they'll buy a townhouse, and then they'll turn around and the other two are paying that dude rent, because they can bounce out whenever they want to if they go to graduate school or whatever and something comes up, versus that dude is making $800. Now, that's on top of all the other stuff I just said. See, these are basic things that we don't talk about. And another thing too, Jason Black did a shout out to Jason Black. He did a video, a documentary that he raised. I ended up donating, I donated $300 for the advertising campaign of that. And he ended up raising I think $200,000 for that advertising campaign. Because Jason Black actually pays for his own documentaries, and then he does GoFundMe's for the advertising, which is different than how Tariq does it. But anyway, it was called Gentrified Ethnic Cleansing American Style. And one of the things he did with that documentary was, he just didn't do a documentary. He actually made that documentary because he did it in he did different cuts depending on the area he was showing it at. And when he bought theater time, he actually brought in real estate agents, black real estate agents, to actually teach people how to buy real estate in their market after the documentary, which I thought was very ingenious. And I'm waiting, and he's got footage of stuff like that. And they answered very critical questions that black people have. I won't go deeper into that because I don't want to be long with it, but I'll end it with this. If you ask a non-black person, I want to end it with this statement. If you ask a non-black person, any non-black person, I don't care what race it is, I'll say even African people too, who are the best people to invest in? Most of the time, they will say their own family members first. They will say this most of the time. People that are close to them in their circle as far as family. If you ask, then they'll say their tribe, people around them extended. If you ask black people who are the last people you want to invest in, they will usually say your family. That by itself is one of the biggest psychological issues that we have, and one of the biggest mindset barriers as to why we are where we are. I completely understand white supremacy. If you take white supremacy off the table, this is a big issue, and it comes back to our inability to trust each other. And this J Morrison thing is a manifestation of that. It may be a good deal, it may not be a good deal, but I'm not saying this is the only option. I'm saying you need to be investing in other black men in something. Doesn't have to be real estate. That's my point. Anyway.
No, I agree. Shout out to my brother, man. I saw another brother that just donated, man, $4.99. Thank you, J Podge. Appreciate you. Shout you out, man. Thank you for the support, man. I appreciate all you brothers who super chat on the midget collard green junior strip club fund. I thank you, brother, so much, man. Get the likes up on the video. I appreciate you. Thank you again, brother J Podge, for that $4.99 super chat. Let's see. We got about a few more minutes. Let's go ahead on Super Slide, and then we go to LAR. Go ahead, Super Slide. What you want to win on, brother?
Yeah, two things real quick. Yeah, we don't have proper business sense because when Big Mama died at the funeral, the kids are already fighting for the dividends. So who gets what and will.
That shit is. Okay. Hey, probate is a big issue in the black community. We liquidate a lot of shit in probate, so that's true.
And then also with the kids that get killed early, that you see them on the corners with the pictures for our car wash fund to bury the kids. My main thing with the trust or the fund, whatever, how long are people going to give him to see a profit, and then how much of a profit are they expecting off of $500? That would be to me, because I don't think people have realistic expectations of what it really takes to generate revenue. And on top of that, we're not built for the long game. We want to see something soon, quick, fast, in a hurry. We don't want to set up something for the grandkids, because we should be setting things for the grandkids and the great grandkids. Your kids right now, they're good. Are you setting things up for the grandkids after that? We're not built for that mindset.
Okay, Edward, what do you mean, LAR? What you gotta say about that?
Man, I'm gonna be a jerk.
Right though, God damn it.
Yeah, here's the thing.
You're right.
We don't want to take into consideration, just like you're talking about the probate and all that. You know, let's do this. Edward was talking about real estate. How much money is blown in 18 years worth of child support? These people still don't have houses. How much money is blown when you done paying child support and you getting that extra income, and you just taking that money buying cars and going on trips because now you ain't got to pay it no more.
Add the income credit that they get every year too, by the way.
No. Well, the first one was for the women, the second was for the men. Because when brothers get off child support, I'm turning up. Like, dog. Dog. Like, I got an extra $600,000-$800,000 a month to do what? Turn up. How many of us, we got issues investing, but we don't even got life insurance policies? Mm-hmm. How many of us want to talk about money, but we won't have health insurance? But we sitting out here eating the worst food on the planet and then crying when we get an $80,000 hospital bill for 3 aspirins and an IV. Like, we're not investing in ourselves first and foremost. When you was talking about the probate court, that's one of the reasons why we don't know about real estate, because every time what's normal is this is how it plays out. Mm-hmm. Your granddaddy bought a house. Your granddaddy died. You might have lived in your granddad's house, but you call it Big Mama's house. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You've been raised in that house. You see it as her house. Cool. You grow up, she dies. Your parents fight over the house, sell it, split the money, buy bullshit that they won't pass down to you when it's time to give you anything. They'll buy 3 different cars, and then you won't even get a car when you're 16. You won't get the old car that they had.
You missed the grandeur. Lord Jesus.
So now you don't have a house. You don't have a car. They took pictures on vacation. And then you look up, lo and behold, they gentrified the neighborhood. Man, Big Mama's house, they sold that shit for $350,000. Ooh, they made a killing. How much you sell it for? About $57,000. Okay. Why we ain't got no money? The family ain't got no. Where the kids gonna stay? Could they stay in Big Mama's house? No. Y'all need to go get an apartment in the gentrified part, because that's your neighborhood. Now your kids is paying $1,200 a month on the same damn land that you own. So And every 30 years, it flip-flopped from, everybody was close to downtown. Then they moved out to the suburbs. Then they moved back downtown because white people keep buying your shit for low, selling it for high, and driving your stupid ass out. And you still don't get it. But
truth.
The problem ain't necessarily white America. If you really want to be real, if you live in the hood right now, stay your punk ass in the hood for 15 more years, and you could sell that house for the amount of a brand new house in the suburbs if you want to live there so bad, and then you could just swap that property out for cash.
Yep.
Let me say this real quick, guys. 445 people watching. Listen, I've updated. Go into the description, man. All my brothers is on the podcast right now. If you are not subscribed to LArmovement or Supasly75 or Edward Anderson, oh shit, is that? Oh! Look who's there. That's Anthony. That's Anthony Bully Logan in the building. Okay, he's back in the hood. He's over here for a few minutes. Okay, go into the description, brothers, and subscribe to all my brothers, man. They're excellent. You know what I'm saying? Commenters of the day. Especially my favorite of late has been the Great Black Shark, man, because you just don't know where the brother's gonna come from. You don't know whose head he's gonna take off next. So shout out to Supasly75, man, because you never know who he's coming for, man. You just don't know who's next. Okay, Anthony Brian Logan, brother. If you want to get in, shout out to Malik R. What up, fam? Thank you so much. K Love, gentrification coming to a hood near you. Okay, and guys, do me a favor. Go into the description, man. I got all my brothers there. Let's quickly talk about, I guess, you know what I'm saying, for the remainder of the show. I think we've made all our points about J Morrison that we could make, but let's talk about this whole black church thing. A lot of people have been talking about the church situation. J Morrison is appealing to the needs of blacks in the church as black pastors. I heard a guy say that in the video, actually, word for word. Do you think that black pastors are setting up the blueprint for people who are not necessarily in pastoral ministries, how to emotionally get to black people, how to get money from them? Do you think that a lot of people are taking that blueprint? Because if you kind of look at J Morrison, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Brian Jenkins, all right, out of Alabama. You kind of look at this brother, and he kind of looks like he could be a flashy preacher, man, by the way he moves. He has, like, you know what I'm saying, some reverend tendencies about him. But I'll start with Supasly. Are we seeing a lot of these brothers, man, kind of taking that black church blueprint and kind of, transposing it to whatever they're doing?
Yeah, they're the perfect salesman for black people. They are the mold. You know how it is. If Shane, you get to doing your thing, and they call you the preacher man, and it's just ingrained in us through the religion that if you can speak enough to people's emotions, and you use a religion on top of that, you got your congregation do whatever you want them to do. If you want them to walk off the cliff, they'll jump off the cliff at your behest.
Oh man, but I mean, why do you think that? Why do you think that is, though? I mean, if you could kind of go into more detail.
Because most of us grew up in a Christian church, Baptist, Pentecostal, and so that's the mold. And like I said, that stuff is passed down from Big Mama to your mother to my mother, and it's just so on and so forth. You just, even if you subconsciously realize that something about a pastor, like, it makes you like, oh, you turn on the Tabernacle channel, pastor, like, oh, wait a minute, something, and you snap out of it.
You think Tabernacle
you realize
channel?
what happened. When Benny Hinn was on that Reverend James Cleveland. Everybody know about Reverend James Cleveland.
Oh Lord, have mercy, Jesus.
If you didn't go to church on Sunday, he was on TV, and you had to sit there and watch him. And that man could do no wrong in anybody's eyes, but the power and sway that the pastor holds over the people, because they're in leadership position, and people go to these people for questions and answers, marriage counseling, whatever the case may be, and that's the black Messiah. The closest thing we got to the black Messiah is the pastor.
Boy, James Cleveland was doing a number to them kids. Okay, well, that's another show. All right, let's go ahead to Edward. Yeah, he was doing a lot. He was doing a lot of laying hands on people's children. But go ahead on, Edward. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm very passionate on this issue. I've had very passionate debates, private conversations with Sub-Zero, where I've said some stuff where he's almost flowing off the handle with me because here's the thing. I'm not against Christianity. I'm a Christian. I'm not against the black church. But when you look at what the black church used to be, the original aggregation of black money was the black church. You wouldn't have a Wall Street without the black church. That is not the black church of today. It is turning a poverty pimping factory where it takes advantage of our most subjective minded, not necessarily dumbest, but I'll say subjective minded, selling hope to a lot of old women for whatever reason. And it's just, it's about money machine. It represents like a lot of almost everything negative in the black community as far as why black people don't trust aggregating with each other, or why we have this individual mindset. You can trace a lot of that towards the church. Now, as far as the pastors and are they the mold? Well, it's not so much the pastors as it's the mouthpiece. Black men, even Sarita, she talked about this, how when like Black Wall Street stuff came down, a lot of black men went underground and it became about that mouthpiece. And the reality is you see that in its most legit form in the pastors. That's why you got people that used to do dirt, because most of your pastors used to do dirt. That's another thing that kills me when people want to say things like J Morrison had a felony, which I understand that, and I'm not going to act like that doesn't mean anything. But so did a lot of your pastors. They even openly tell you what the stuff they did until they found the Lord. So which is code for you're supposed to not count any of that stuff because that's before they found the Lord versus after they found the Lord. So it doesn't count, right? So maybe if J Morrison says, yeah, I did all this stuff, but I found the Lord, black people wouldn't say anything, or at least most black people wouldn't. But my point is, because make no mistake, not only should people like Creflo Dollar have the shit smacked out of them for trying to get a $20 million plane, everybody in the congregation that kind of signed off on that just be slapped. And my problem is with the church, I believe the church needs to be reformed. I believe there are great pastors. Shout out to Kevin Crosby, who single-handedly reactivated a dead HBCU, Simmons College in Louisville, Kentucky, using his church. I know pastors has got me out of a lot of tickets that are, they are a lawyer, but they are also a pastor, so they have a real job. And my point is, black people are, like Supasly said, are conditioned. We jump into instant hypnotism when a pastor is talking. Somebody says their pastor is talking. And the problem with that is when people want to make up certain things on other things, I'm like, okay, let's do that. But let's talk about the biggest thing that vacuums money out of the community. I'd say it's a fight between education and the church, because the church has been doing it a lot longer than education. So, yeah.
Wow, and shout out to, like I said, man, that pastor, you know what I mean? Y'all kind of tell when I get my little moles, man, my brother's a pastor too, so shout out to him, but I just couldn't deal with you niggas in no churches. And plus I would get fired because I can't pastor no women, man. I can't be in the church. I guess with my style of speaking, I would fill up any church on any Sunday because people would just come to see what the fuck I'm gonna say. But I would say this. There's no way I can preach to no women in the church. I just can't do it because I refuse to do that. If it was like an all men's church, but then again, I had to check some of them, you know what I mean? I just can't do it. I can't be in no black church with no women. I'm sorry. I can't go it because they'll fuck it up. So that's why I just do my little manosphere shit. If it's something with men, I can work with men. I can't work with no women. I can't work with women in these churches. Shout out to my sister Nikki 841 Alex. Bishop Willie Brown is the legitimation of Big Pimp Willie Lowdown. When his hoes get too old, is Willie Brown in Church of God of Christ? Okay, let me do this. Let's go ahead on to LAR real quick, man.
All right. Here's the thing about Christianity. God, in the way that we see it in America, in Christianity, was the first use of game. See, they used to have it. They had that old saying that, you know, in Africa, they gave the Africans the Bible, and then they looked up and they wound up with the land. See, they used God to get something for nothing. They was spitting game to Africans with Christianity. You bring that to America, God and Christianity is really the game that started capitalism. Because Christianity was used to create the slavery in itself. So you can get somebody to do some shit for you so you don't have to do it. So now that's what justifies getting something for nothing. Mm-hmm. Now we look at the church because in this particular society, black men in this era will probably be the most least skilled black men in American history.
Oh.
So what is our number one skill right now? Game. Mouthpiece. So we game spitters. You know, I'm gonna tell you something that's really nothing to get something out of you.
Right.
You can't ask us to do some shit. You know, because I don't know how to do no shit, but I know how to talk you up out of some shit. Mm-hmm. And if I hoop and holler real good, you're gonna give me some of your shit. Because what I'm selling you is the idea that you could be just like me, saying absolutely nothing, and people will give you everything. Mm-hmm. So this is the American game is in Christianity and the church is the American dream. This people ain't giving tithes and offerings, investing in God. They're investing in an idea that some sucker will come along and give them money for nothing. Yep. So hallelujah. Benediction is here. I'm done.
Yeah, nigga, I'm done too. I'm tired of niggas. Listen, y'all, it's like 3:21 in the morning. Appreciate you, Negroes. Like, get the likes up on the video. Thank you for everybody, man. Tonight, I guess 3:21. I keep, I try to do as much as I can for the shows, man. This neurology rotation is really kicking my ass. But guys, I thank you for all the brothers. Let me let Super Sly, have his last words, and then Edward. But thank everybody, man. Subscribe to my brothers, LAR, Super Sly, Edward, man. Wonderful content creators, man. On YouTube. So again, shout out to Brian Jenkins out of Alabama. I talked to him a little earlier today on WhatsApp. So just thank you, man. Thank you, brothers, for everything that you guys do. Keeping us together for these shows. It's hard doing them because I'll be having class early in the morning. I get like sometimes not home from the hospital like as late as 8 o'clock at night from my rotation. So let's let Super Slide Man weigh in whatever you want to weigh in, player.
No, I don't have much to say. Just everybody do the due diligence when it comes to things like this. And I will always say invest in yourself first and foremost. That's where it begins for me. So that's my little spiel.
All right. And Edward, anything you want to let them know, pimpin'?
Yeah, I agree with that as far as Super Slide, but what I will also add to that is you need to understand the power of aggregating with other people. And you need to learn that. You need to get comfortable with that. Like anything, it's like a muscle. White people invest in other white people because they're trained to do that. And black men in particular need to train themselves and invest in other black men, even if it's something like $1. Even if it's 1 or 2 black men that you're dealing with that you personally know. So appreciate the stream, and I'm out.
All right, now y'all make sure y'all go check out my classic video, man. I just made on my O'Shea Duke Jackson channel. It's a doozy. It's called "Ask the Guy You Sleeping With for That Money, Boo." Now, who hasn't seen that video before? I gotta shout out to DJ Cadillac. Salute to the brother Peel. Invest in Amazon. Thank you, brother. Who has not seen my latest video, my latest classic view? I gotta go ahead and promote my shit. Who hasn't seen that video, man? Because I really dropped a classic over there, one of them 2016 type of classics on you Negroes. So I was trying to keep it clean. But you want to check that out, man. Go to my O'Shea Duke Jackson main channel. If you're not subscribed over there, hit the bell. Go over there, subscribe, and hit the bell. Shout out to Roast Masterman. He did comment on that. I just haven't got a chance to see it. So y'all go over there, man. I got another one coming tomorrow called Bish. Who you talking to like that? So you got to make sure you check that out. Okay, I'm trying to make a comeback on my channel, man. That channel would have really did well, but niggas try to take it down. So I take all my videos down. And what out, T Kelly? What's up, baby? I'm getting a lot of women over here. Y'all must like looking at ugly niggas or something. It must be y'all must have came for LAR Supersly Edward Anderson, because y'all ain't came for me. So so go over there. Like, I would have had that channel really popping, man, but the channel kept getting strikes. And every time I try to do something, it's been like almost 3 times in the last year that channel was on its last leg, almost shut down. So I gotta rebuild the momentum every time I try to. So I have to like rebuild that channel like 3 different times, and like, you know what I'm saying? And that's like a channel killer. It's a momentum killer. So I'm trying to keep it popping. So go over there, subscribe to the channel, man. Subscribe to all my brothers, LArmovement, Supasly, Edward Anderson. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about the Dame Dash thing. Why did Dame Dash pull up? I don't know who won in on that one, but we're gonna talk about that one. It's a little bit late. And so yeah, so check it out. So guys, thank you again. Thank you for the moderators. The moderator awards is still up. It's still going. We're gonna have it up until the end of July. Peace out, everybody. See you niggas later.